can you put your team in a position where there hasn't even been a single play from scrimmage
Mm.
and you spit on the quarterback of the other team and get ejected?
Well, he got baited, I mean, Dak was spitting on the ground, I guess, or something like that before the play before, maybe. Or it wasn't the game even started. It wasn't even the play before. But he spit on the ground, and then your all-pro defensive lineman. I don't know, what does Jalen Carter play?
Yeah, he's a defensive tackle. How
He's
many people
DT.
can you name in the NFL better than Jalen Carter right now?
Yeah, gets kicked
how
out
many
before the
defensive
game
tackles?
starts. Probably fined $50K. Like, just a bad situation all around.
Good rage bait from Dak, though.
Won the game if you're the Eagles, I guess. But
Before we even had a single play from scrimmage in the NFL this year, there was a guy carted off and the best defensive tackle in football ejected for spitting in the Cowboys quarterback face.
and then in the third quarter, there was a rain delay.
Rain delay.
That lasted for an hour.
There was like 4 fights in the first half, and they weren't just like small ones. They were like guys' helmets getting ripped off.
Yep.
Pretty solid start to the NFL season, if you ask me.
Yeah, aside from the rain delay, I guess it was pretty fun. The first half was electric, but
the first half was awesome football.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a drive without scoring a point until the third quarter.
The 8 straight drives with points, and then in the second half there was only 1 scoring drive, and it was a field goal for Philadelphia.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really great first half of football. I mean, it was, how like when you're watching a game and you like get all excited and you're like, man, I really hope it goes like this.
Yeah.
That's how that football game went in the first half. It was
Right.
like perfect football.
Right.
And then the rain delay hit. And after that, it was pretty much unwatchable.
Yeah, a lot of punting in the second half. I mean, it does kind of feel like, and I don't necessarily know what the psyche of a football player is. I've never played, but it does kind of feel like after that rain delay did happen, like the switch flipped off. You know what I mean? Like there was some sort of ability where like, you took that 45 to an hour break, and in the locker room, they just didn't come out with the same amount of heat that they had in the first half, because they were firing on all cylinders. I mean, the storyline of this game is like, obviously you're going to talk about CD dropping passes on that last drive, right? That one that was in his hands, he should have hauled that one in. The second one was a worse ball, but arguably for a guy who makes as much as he does, he's probably hauling that in more than, 5 out of 6 times, right? Like he can make that play.
That is the storyline of this game.
He can make that play, right? I mean, Saquon didn't look the same in the second half. Like AJ Brown had 1 target the entire game.
Well, but we kind of knew that was going to happen going into the game, because the Cowboys, their game plan was clear in the first half. It was take away all threats down the field and make Jalen Hurts beat you with checkdowns and with his legs, which he did. I mean, he killed them with his legs. He had 2 touchdowns in the first half.
Yep.
And they were having quick drives, but Devonta Smith had 2 receptions. AJ Brown had 1 on 1 target. Like the Cowboys did execute their game plan pretty well. And I think in most games, if you hold the Eagles to 24 points, you probably win a lot of those games. I mean,
the way that their defense played, like their secondary looked way worse than it did in that last Super Bowl and last season. I mean, we talk about the drops, right? Like CeeDee Lamb, obviously 2 minutes left in the game, 3rd and 5, ball gets placed right into his hands. He drops it. That's a catch he makes 9 times out of 10, maybe 99 times out of 100, right? But the fact that he was that open on one of those drives, on both of the pass attempts, like they dropped 3 or 4 passes on that one drive.
75 receiving yards in the first quarter.
Correct.
I would love to sit here and be like, and hate on the Dallas Cowboys as much as I can. Don't get me wrong. I dislike them as much as the next guy.
Yeah.
But their offense looked good. Even in the second half, I thought their offense looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it. I was impressed by Dak Prescott. And I think that, I mean, I'm going to ask you, were those drops the difference between the Cowboys winning this game and losing this game?
100%, in my opinion. I think so. I think if you get downhill or downfield, like I think CeeDee Lamb probably gets 4 or 5 more yards if he hauls in that first one. And then the second one, you catch that, you still have 2 minutes going, 3 timeouts. You have 3 timeouts. You had 2 minutes because you just came out of the 2-minute warning, and you have great field position, like 15 yards left to the end zone. Your running back already has 2 touchdowns on the day from just punching it in, right? And you have one of the most dominant receivers in the league, you know what I mean, who just made a huge play. You got to assume that he's going back to him, right? Or to Jake Ferguson, who also dropped the pass in the last drive. So, I don't know.
You're forgetting about the CD drop that he had in the third quarter as well. That
Correct.
would have put them in significantly better field position. I mean, I think so yes, for me, I think that those drops cost them this game because the Dallas offense was driving and they looked pretty dominant. And I think that to me was impressive. I was also really impressed by their defense. I mean, I thought that holding the Super Bowl defending champions to 24 points in the opening game of the year on their Super Bowl night where they raised the banner, after it's significant anyways, but especially after what's transpired in the last week. I mean, you lost your superstar,
right?
Like a probably top 2 player in his position. And your owner was coming out saying, we have been horrible at stopping the run. We need to stop the run. They held Saquon to 60 yards.
I was going to say, right? Like any
season.
Any time that you can hold the best running back in the league to the amount of yards that he had, I think you live with that. I think you live with that for the Cowboys.
The star receiver to 1 target.
Correct.
The Dallas defense did its job.
Your offense let you down. Yeah,
the offense let them down.
Which is shocking to say because, like you were saying, like they weren't playing bad. You know what I mean? Like they put themselves in dangerous positions. The deep ball was on. They just had to make catches, and they just didn't. I thought Dak threw the ball really well in that second half. And again, you have to score points, right? You have to put yourself in field position to score. And I don't think that Dallas is a great run game, right? Like from yard to yard. I think that they, from like 15 yards and in, they can give the ball to Javonte Williams and he can probably hammer it home as your RB1. But he's not getting you more than 3 or 4 yards a carry. You know what I mean? Like he's not breaking one off, right? So you're going to be really reliant on the passing game. And the fact of the matter is that your best pass catcher didn't make plays in the second half that he normally makes.
Well, but I mean, I think that that's a huge rarity for CeeDee Lamb. He's probably not going to do that many more times.
Yep, so I would agree with that.
If Dak Prescott continues to play the way that he did, and I'm going to hit you with a classic Cowboys quote here, do you think Dak's ceiling is being a top 10, top 7 quarterback this year?
I think he'd be a top 10 quarterback because I think that fringe last few spots probably held by guys like Jordan Love, Jared Goff, CJ Stroud, maybe even, like they're kind of flexible. You know what I mean? I don't see him getting into the top 7. You know what I mean? I think that Dak is a good enough play caller to get you to the playoffs. I don't know if he's a good enough play caller to win you a Super Bowl. Right?
That's not the question though.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, Justin Herbert is a top 7 quarterback right now. He's never been past the first round.
Correct. But I don't think that's on Justin Herbert at the same time. But agree to disagree, right? Yeah, I think there is a scenario where you see Dallas, like you said on our preview episode, literally just throw the ball downfield all season, and Dak ends with like 4,000 yards and 15 touchdowns and 20 touchdowns. Like maybe you have the conversation. Maybe you have the conversation that he is, a top 10, top 12 quarterback in the league. He's still overpaid, right? If that's really your benchmark. But yeah, I think that conversation could probably come up around him at the end of the season. He looked better than Jalen Hurts did in the second half.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to ask you next. I mean, if you're an Eagles fan, are you worried with the way that Jalen Hurts played? Because the whole game he was looking towards those guys, and I don't know if they were just perfectly covered or if his decision-making wasn't quite there, but he didn't really. The only football that he threw downfield was to Jahan Dotson, and it was a 51-yard completion, right? It was a huge catch, but
right.
Are you worried about the fact that he can't quite throw the football right now? I mean, that was his only completion further than 7 yards downfield. He looked like Quinn Ewers playing football back there, except he ran like his life depended on it. That's what won them the game.
I think you could question it, but I also think that you look at that game and you go, the way that they were being played defensively, he kind of played exactly how he had to, right? He made his reads, he made his check down. A.J. Brown was not open. Like they showed it on the Gamecast. He was just not getting open. Devonta Smith is a deep ball threat. If you don't get him his deep ball once a game, he's probably not going to have that many receptions, right? Like he's not big enough to play in the middle. He's not big enough to be a slant receiver. He's going to go for a deep ball every time that he touches the ball, right? So I think that Jalen Hurts hurt them with his legs, and like you said, it's a tale of two halves, right? The first half, he looked really in shape. He looked like he was the guy. He looked like the best quarterback on the field. And then the second half, he looked like he didn't know what to do, right? And I think that that's partially because you have receivers who are expecting the ball at this level, right? Like A.J. Brown should not end a game with one target. I think everybody knows that, right? You have to be able to get him the ball. And that is partially on the receiver and that's partially on the quarterback, right? But I think that you expected, if you're an Eagles fan, to have seen more from Jalen Hurts in that second half.
I agree. And I think that that's part of the thing that's come with Jalen Hurts, where he can't quite crack the upper echelon, like the top echelon of quarterbacks in the NFL.
Right.
He is a little bit inconsistent. And I think that if he puts a full 4 quarters together the way that he did at the beginning of that game, then, and obviously it's the first game of the year. Like, let's not overreact here.
Right.
I mean, I think a lot of people expected him to come out and be a very consistent quarterback. And I think that, I mean, as you said, they weren't really drawing up anything to at least get those guys a touch. I mean, A.J. Brown didn't have a catch until 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. As the play caller, it feels like your responsibility to get the ball in his hands somehow, even if it's a screen or if it's a quick drag, right? Just something to get the ball in his hands to get some sort of momentum. But they didn't do that at all. And it looked pretty inconsistent at times. So, I mean, if I'm an Eagles fan, you win the game, you win the first game. It was an ugly second half. You pretty much got away with one there in my eyes.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that next game you hope, I mean, I don't know who they're playing next week. I think it's the Chiefs they're playing next week. That's a big game. And I think that you hope to see Jalen Hurts put together 4 quarters because you're going to have to against that team. So I think that game next week is going to be very telling.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I think that there are no moral victories in football. You know what I mean? It's a 17-game season, right? So a loss is a loss and a win is a win. It's an ugly win for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're probably not super happy with the execution of the win, but at the same time, they're 1-0 against a league rival, a division rival, right? And the Cowboys are coming out of there going, yeah, we could have caught some balls, right? And we probably would have won that game. But if you think like that, then you're going to lose in week 2, right? They have to continue to move on. So, like, I think that the Philadelphia Eagles are just happy to escape with a win, regardless of how they played. And I think the Cowboys are kicking themselves because obviously they let one get away.
I mean, I think that part of them is kicking themselves, but part of them is also like, okay, we have it in us to beat the best team in the NFL. I mean, it's not unrealistic to say that they had it in them to win that game. So they can go into their next couple of games and be like, okay, well, I mean, if we play the way that we did yesterday and we catch that football, then we're going to beat pretty much any team in the league. And if they go down that route, then, I mean, I think that they will be successful moving forward. I'm not here to say that I'm in on the Cowboys, but they made that game hard on the Eagles. And I think that they kind of maybe, I mean, did they maybe show the league a way that you can neutralize those receivers? Or will the Eagles come out and fix something? Like, I think if they go against a better defense, the Eagles are going to struggle. And I think that if the Cowboys say, okay, we were on the doorstep of beating the best team in football, let's continue to play our game, and then we will eventually find success down that road.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I think that I think that if you're Dallas, you're coming out of this week and you're going, we're disappointed with the loss. But like you said, the NFC East is going to be an absolute dogfight this year, right? And there will probably be a wild card team coming out of there, whether that is the Cowboys, whether it is the Commanders, probably not going to be the Giants, right? But they're fighting for that spot. And I mean, there are a lot of guys on big contracts, despite the fact that Micah Parsons is now a Packer, and they have to try and figure that out, right? So we'll see. But I am vaguely more like invested in watching Cowboys games than I was going into this, because the thing about the Cowboys that we were saying in the pre-show was their defense is going to be so bad without Micah Parsons on it, which is a fair assessment to make, right? Because obviously you lose one of the premier pass rushers in the NFL. But like you said, they just held the Eagles to 24 points. So is there something about this defense that is going to work, is going to click?
Is getting rid of Micah Parsons something that can unify this defense, make everyone else step up? Right?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I mean, they have some talent. I mean, Trayvon Diggs played really well yesterday. Deron Bland played really well. I don't want to like these guys, and I still don't like these guys, but I can appreciate they played. I mean, they picked up Kyer Elam off the Bills, and he had a great game. So, I mean, who knows? Like, I mean, this is kind of a bad example, but if you look at the Red Sox, we lost Rafael Devers. Everyone's like, what are we doing trading our best player? And then we were a much better team because of it. There might be a bit of that with this Cowboys defense.
Right.
I'm not expecting them to be great, though.
I'm not either. But like you said, like it is 100% plausible that sometimes if you lose a guy like that for your locker room, you might come out better on the other side.
All right, so should we move into our first game preview?
100%, dude. I'm super excited. I mean, like, football has been back for, 12 hours? and we get another game tonight, and then we get another game. Do we get a game on Saturday?
No, we just get one tomorrow.
Okay, then we get a ton of games on Sunday. So, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun.
I missed making our picks. Just to remind everyone what we do every year, in case you're new, Alex and I will each take 3 spreads of teams that we like this week, and then we will have a game of the week and a not game of the week, and we will tally our points throughout the season, and someone will come out on top between the two of us. I believe Alex won by like 2 points last year. It was very close.
Yep, it was a close battle. So we like to pick three teams, their spreads, and then like Jack said, normally we will split game of the week and not game of the week between whoever the 2 best or worst teams in the NFL are. But just
to remind everyone what the spread is. The spread, if let's say hypothetically the Chiefs are playing the Chargers, the Chiefs are minus 3.5 point favorites. If I have the Chiefs minus 3.5, that means they have to win by 4 or more points in order for me to have the point count towards me. And if they don't, then I do not. If they win by 2 points or they win by 1 point, then I do not get a point. They have to win by 4 or more.
Right. Thank you for that breakdown. We always flip a coin to see who gets to pick first because sometimes we want to pick the same games here. I got first pick this week, which means that I am going to take the Cincinnati Bengals minus 5.5 over the Browns. The coach of the Cincinnati Bengals is 1-12 in his last weeks 1 and 2 as a head coach. That's not really that promising. That being said, they're playing the Cleveland Browns, who have one of the worst active quarterback battles that I have ever seen. I have no idea what's going on with their run game right now. They have Jerome Ford, Nick Chubb, Quinshon Judkins.
They don't have Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is
he's gone.
Houston Texan.
Okay. My mistake. They have Jerome Ford. They have they were supposed to have Quinshon Judkins, who is now battling some legal issues. So this team really looks like one that has been zapped by bad management and a lot of external issues that don't have to do anything with football. Jerry Jeudy,
they're a bad football team.
They're a bad football team. I mean, Jerry Jeudy looked good last year, but other than that, there were pretty much no bright spots on this team. That being said, they're playing Flacco ball this week, which means that they're just going to either throw 15 interceptions or 15 touchdowns. So anything could happen in this game. But that being said, I'm banking on Joe Burrow coming out and making a statement win here with Jamar Chase fully healthy, with T. Higgins back, with this defense more shored up. I think that the Cincinnati Bengals get a win. And they win by 5, they win by 6 or more.
Yeah, I like that pick. It's a pretty clear first pick. Mine's a pretty clear second pick. I have the Commanders playing the New York Giants in Washington, D.C. Season opener. I can speak to it. There's a ton of hype around them this year. Everyone's excited. I walk off the Metro and there's Jaden Daniel knockoff jerseys for sale everywhere. So
it's always a good sign.
I have the Commanders also minus 5.5 over the New York Giants this year. And I think the Giants are an interesting team. They're a lot like the Browns where their quarterback battle is just who is going to start. I think Russell Wilson has the week 1 start. How many weeks before they start playing Jackson Dart?
I would give it maybe 4 or 5 weeks, I think. The way that he played in the preseason, he seems like he has the roster behind him. Once Malik Neighbors gets in and is okay, we need a quarterback who's going to get me the ball, I think Jackson Dart will become their guy. I think that there's also a realistic way where Jackson Dart comes out of this draft being the most highly touted quarterback. Wouldn't overly surprise me. I mean, Cam Ward is good, right? But the way that he played in the preseason, it looked like Jackson Dart was really slinging the rock well. And I mean, a lot of GMs that were talking about it on First Take and Get Up, they seemed really excited about Jackson Dart's future in a New York Giants jersey. So I guess we'll see. I think
I agree. Another name that I'd throw in there is Jalen Milroe. He's in Seattle. I think he's going to spend 2 years behind Sam Darnold, maybe a year and a half behind Sam Darnold. and then take over that starting role. And I could see him being a very good NFL quarterback.
Okay, here's a question that I have for you about the Commies now that you are in DC again.
And they are my team this year, by the way. They are my corner office team this year.
So a big question that I have is there have been a lot of regression talks. I mean, this team went to the NFC Championship last year. I don't think anybody really expected them to get there. Jaden Daniels is going into his second season. We've seen some of these rookie quarterbacks take a step back in year 2. Do you expect that they're going to be the same level of dominant that they were last year, or will they not and maybe sneak into the wild card game?
Yeah, I mean, again, they're playing in a really tough division. I don't think anyone expects the Cowboys to be as bad as they were last year. And I also think
disagree.
I disagree.
I think people think the Cowboys are going to be worse than they were last year. But
they were bad last year.
The way that they played last night, it kind of does give you a little bit of hope. So, sorry, continue.
So I think that something that people have to do is manage their expectations. The team overperformed in their first year being a competent football team in like 40 years.
Correct.
And I think that you have to have some patience. I mean, you beat a Lions team that was completely disheveled. I mean, they had no defense. They were completely injured.
Yep.
And then you got rolled by the Eagles in the NFC Championship. So I think that you have to manage your expectations. And but to answer your question, I don't think Jaden Daniels will take a step back. I mean, he had a great first season, but there also is room for improvement in some areas. So I think that you expect him to be the same, if not a little bit better. And they've also surrounded him with some targets. I mean, they lost Brian Robinson, which is okay because you now have a rookie running back in Bill coming up behind him.
Yep.
Who, I mean, it's going to take him a little while to get some touches. You still have Austin Eckler, who's a phenomenal, like, pound the rock at the end at the goal line.
Right.
Maybe catch a couple passes for you. Right. He's a great third down back, and you added Deebo Samuel to your receiving core. So I think that people should expect them to be. I don't think NFC Championship is the exception. I think that's kind of their ceiling as it was last year.
Okay.
I don't really know if they'll be flirting for their division, but I think that they'll definitely be in wild card talks.
Okay. Yeah, I can't tell from a Commanders fan perspective, and I know you're not necessarily a Commanders fan. They are your team that you're pulling for this year. But that being said, like, do you expect this team, like, say they go 10-7? Do you think the city of Washington is happy about them being 10-7?
If they're in the playoffs, I think you expect them to win a game.
Okay.
I think you expect them to win a playoff game. Obviously barring injury.
Right. Which is always a huge issue. But yeah, okay, fair enough. We will revisit that.
To answer your question, I don't think that Jaden Daniels will have a CJ Stroud-like decline in his second year. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. I would hope not. As well. But yeah, I mean, look, we'll stay on top with the Commanders for the entirety of the year. Obviously, that's Jack's team going into the maybe the Patriots are good, maybe they're not. We wanted to pick a team. This is the one that he chose. So we will keep up with them as the year goes on. I'm sure we'll have Ankush on at some point to talk more Commies football because he is a super fan. But yeah, I actually do like your pick over the Giants. I mean, always get a division game. You know, they can be a little bit more hectic, but I think that with Russell Wilson behind center, the Commanders will probably get it done by 6 points.
It's in Washington too.
Correct.
That's big.
Correct. That is a big deal. For me, my second pick here, I have Tampa Bay -1.5 over Atlanta. I don't think that Atlanta is going to have the same type of problems that they had last year with Kirk Cousins. I mean, Michael Penix seems like he will step up into a starting role, and he started to flourish a little bit at the end of the season. They have a lot of targets: Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts, maybe even if somebody drafted him. And then Bijan Robinson is obviously, in my opinion, one of the best running backs in the league if you get him the ball as much as he needs it. But that being said, Baker Mayfield, correct, right? Because that is the question with Bijan is how many touches does he need to be effective? And honestly, he hasn't gotten the rock as much as he probably should have in his first 2 years in the NFL. But that being said, I think he is a big breakout candidate this year if they get him the ball as much as he deserves to carry it. But that being said, I am going to take the Bucs here. I think Baker Mayfield played a really underrated season last year, got them to the playoffs again. And although this game was a shootout both times it happened in the regular season, I see the Bucs getting this done by more than 2 points.
Yeah, I see the Bucs getting this one done too. I like Atlanta, but I think that they have some kinks to figure out before they become a good football team. I think around maybe week 6, they'll start to kind of hit a stride. They're playing a weak division, but I mean, this Tampa Bay team is good.
Yep.
Defensively and offensively. So I think that I think that they get it done. My next pick, I have the Broncos over the Titans, and this is it's a big spread. 8.5 points is a lot.
Huge spread.
A lot. This Titans team, they're led by a rookie, number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward. It's going to take him a little bit to figure it out too. And going against the best defense in the league is not necessarily the way that you want to start your season if you're a rookie quarterback.
Correct.
He doesn't have all the targets in the world. And if you have PS2 guarding Calvin Ridley, who is, obviously your number 1 receiver in that locker room.
Yep.
Unless you can, find a way to get Ty Lockett 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, there's no way they win this game, let alone lose by less than 10, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's fair. Bo Nix is one of the biggest candidates to me for having that second-year regression at quarterback. He wasn't all that great last year, but he won them a bunch of games, got them back to the playoffs. They lose in the first round. But that being said, I do agree that I think that starting a quarterback week 1 who you just drafted has really never been a recipe for success in the NFL. And I could see this. This Broncos secondary, there's no way around it. It's probably the best in football. You would have thought that the Eagles were up there with them in the way that they played last year, but not at the moment, right? And Pat Surtain is an absolute lockdown corner, somebody who has had a Darrelle Revis type of impact on some of these games here. So I agree. I think that the Titans are going to really struggle with this defensive presence, and I could see Bo Nix doing just enough for them to get win by 9, which is a big spread, but we'll see when it comes to that. My third and final pick here, you had to go with the homer pick. We're super excited to watch this game here in New England. The New England Patriots are going to beat the Raiders by 3 points or more. I have them -2.5 over the Raiders. I'm super stoked to watch this game. And honestly, if they break my heart, I'm going to be really upset.
They can break my heart. It's okay. I think that last year when we were playing the Bengals week 1, it was like, oh, I'm excited to watch this game because it's just Drake May playing football, right?
Right.
This year, I'm excited to watch the Patriots because I'm excited to watch our football team be good. How many coaches in the league have broken up a fight between players on the other football team and low-key scrapped with players on the other team?
Right.
And then got in their defensive line drills and acted like an offensive lineman against your starting defensive line. How many coaches are doing that without a helmet or any protection? 1. It's Mike Vrabel. It's exactly one coach. I'm excited to watch this Patriots team in hey, we might make some noise in the AFC this year way. Not hey, we're going to suck, but we have a good player.
Right.
That's fun.
The AFC East, it's not, aside from the Bills, it's not a very tough division right now. You know what I mean? The Patriots are in the middle of the pack. The Dolphins, no direction right now. The Jets, I have no idea what's going on with the Jets, right? It's just there is a realistic way that the Patriots could win 6 division games and sneak into the wild card.
They won't win 6. They'll maybe win 4.
4 division games is a lot.
Yeah.
That's 50% of them. I think that's kind of what people are looking for in New England is just being mediocre, right? They have to show some flashes.
Week 14,
right?
When was the last time that you turned on a Patriots game and you said, "Okay, I'm excited to watch the Patriots this week because we're going to win and maybe have significant playoff implications"?
Mac Jones ball,
first year of Mac Jones. That was 5 years ago.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy to think about.
Refreshing feeling, and I'm getting excited just talking about it. It's a refreshing feeling. We've had so many other teams be good, but at least for you and I, when we were growing up, the Patriots were the team in
right.
Boston.
You could always count on. They were going to go to the playoffs every single year without fail.
It feels good to have that again.
Agreed.
All right, my last pick. This to me is one of the most interesting games that we've had in football in a long time, because you have 2 quarterbacks who did a trade, literally pretty much a 1-for-1 trade against each other.
Right.
Justin Fields went to the Jets. Aaron Rodgers went to the Steelers. You could look at this from both sides, right? Aaron Rodgers has a great team with the Steelers. He has a great wide receiver room with DK Metcalf and some veteran guys. They have a great defense. You also could look at Justin Fields, who was like, hey, you guys brought me in, said I'd be the guy in Pittsburgh. Didn't give me even a chance to show you what I got. Now I'm playing on a team who literally has no expectations. I can do whatever I want. And it's a potential for them to make a statement win, and for him to make a statement to the NFL about, hey, I am a competent quarterback. I can find my place in this league. To me, I don't think he's going to do that. The Jets are going to run the ball 4,000 times. Justin Fields is going to have 15 carries in this game, and they might find success doing that.
Okay.
I just don't have confidence in it. I have the Steelers over the Jets -2.5. As much as it pains me to say it, because I'd love to see Justin Fields, who I still think might have a spark in this league, but it's definitely his last chance. Go against the Steelers and beat them and shove it right down Aaron Rodgers' throat. I just don't see it happening.
I was going to ask, I was like, when do you look at Justin Fields and you go, he's not the guy? You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
7.
Okay. You think so this year? Because he is one of those guys that always kind of comes up in conversation where it's like, he could be good. He could be pretty good, but he's never really gotten over that hump. I mean, in Chicago, you saw flashes of it when they were mediocre. And then obviously they let him walk and get Caleb Williams. And then people are like, we want Justin Fields back. And it's like, why? What has he really done aside from, be kind of disappointing and have one good year in fantasy? So, I mean, I do think the clock is ticking on him, unfortunately, even though I do think that he may have something left in the tank. I guess we'll just have to find out come the season time. It's game of the week time. Now, there are two big options for this one, I think. The one that we didn't pick was Lions-Packers, a divisional rivalry. That game will be really interesting, entertaining to watch. But I think that this one is definitely the one that we had to go with. By the
way, that Lions-Packers game is going to answer a lot of questions on both sides.
Agreed.
There are a lot on both sides.
Agreed. But this is the matchup of the week. We have the Ravens at the Buffalo Bills here. Two teams that you're expecting to be in AFC Championship contention on Sunday night. This is the primetime game. This is the game that everybody wants to see. And there are a ton of questions that are going to be answered either way on this one too, because you have two guys who have been in the MVP conversation for the past 3 or 4 years, in Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson going head to head. I would love to get your take on this game, hear what you have to say before we make our picks.
Yeah, I mean, I think, don't get me wrong, nobody circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills.
Correct.
They're playing their first game of the year at home. MVP Josh Allen going against runner-up Lamar Jackson, right? Like, it's a huge game, Sunday night, week 1. Last year, they beat the Ravens twice.
Yep.
Once was in heartbreaking fashion.
Yep.
In the AFC divisional. Once was just flat out. They just beat them flat out.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the Ravens, you've gone into Buffalo twice and lost twice. Both times you left being like, okay, I think we can win that one. They know what they have in Baltimore. They're going to be a serious team this year. Buffalo, they kind of have to figure out what they've got. It takes them a little while. And unless Josh Allen goes and has 4 touchdowns like he did in their first game, they're not going to beat him straight up. And if it comes down to crunch time, this Ravens team now knows what they have to do in order to not lose that game. I mean, they were 1 reception away from beating them in the divisional.
Right.
I think Baltimore goes in there and I think they get it done week 1. I do. I have the Ravens in this game. I think they're going to get it done. That's my pick. But if you can count on one thing between these two teams, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be close. It's going to be gritty.
Yeah, the Ravens are my team this year. So I'm also going to take them. I think that this is a tough place to play. Buffalo is obviously a really tough place to go in and win. It's less tough when the weather is nice, which it is right now. But that being said, I do really like this Ravens team. I like it a lot. I think that they have some really good pieces. I think they're a really well-coached team, and I think that this is one of those years where it's like, okay, the Chiefs have maybe taken a step back, right? They just got beat in the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce's aging. Patrick Mahomes is in another year. He's going to be fine. Rashee Rice is suspended for 6 games. Xavier Worthy's only going into his 2nd year, right? There are a ton of questions with Kansas City right now, and you can kind of like the Patriots of the 2010s. You can never count them out, right? Because they are and have been so dominant. But at the same time, it seems like the upper echelon of the AFC is shifting towards either the Bills or the Ravens, 2 teams that have perennially been beat up by the Kansas City Chiefs, right? So I think that the winner of this game is going to answer, like you said, a lot of questions as to who's going to be that top dog going into the playoffs. And I hope it's the Baltimore Ravens.
Let's move into our not game of the week.
Yep.
First not game of the week of the year. Hey, Panthers. We're going to let you slide this week. I think you guys set a record with 11 not game of the weeks last year. That is a lot.
It was
That's
bad.
a lot of not game of the weeks.
It was bad.
We're going to let you slide. Panthers are playing the Jags. That was the choice that we deferred because there's an exciting rookie on both those teams. Right. So people are going to watch that game for those players.
And Bryce Young is playing, and he had a really good end of the season last year. So I'm actually kind of interested to see how he does.
I am actually excited to see what this Panthers team does this year.
Right.
Frankly, I could care less about the Jaguars. Our not game of the week that we chose this week is Cardinals Saints because no one cares. The Cardinals are a team that have some good players, but they're playing in a tough division. They can maybe make some noise, but no one's counting on them to. And the Saints are hands down the worst team in football. So, I mean,
you got Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a pretty easy pick to me. It feels like I'm gonna take the Cardinals, but I won't be watching this game, and that's a promise.
Just for the fun of it, I'm gonna take the Saints, and I'm gonna lose.
Pick.
Yeah, but you know what? We're a fun show. We have fun here. Spencer Rattler's the quarterback. He was on QB1, which is a Netflix TV show. They're not going to win. They're just not. And I will be watching this game maybe for like a quarter just to see how many touches Marvin Harrison gets and then probably turn it right off. Kyler Murray's another one of those guys where I'm like, how long is he your starting quarterback for?
He's a good quarterback.
You think?
We'll figure it out. Yeah. When he's healthy and he plays the whole season, they're good. And they have good skill players. I mean, they have Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride. They have James Conner at running back. They're a pretty good team. If they can just figure it out, then they can possibly be a good football team.
I mean, they got a corny-ass head coach as well. They're one of those types of teams. Oh, maybe we should have picked the Jags. Duval.
I think that's our 5th Duval drop on the show, and they haven't even played a game yet.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, those are our picks for the NFL slate week 1. We will get back to you as to how we are doing over the course of the season. I'm feeling 5-0. And by 5-0, I mean I'm feeling 4-1 because the Saints aren't going to win. So we'll see what happens there. We're going to wrap this show up with a little draft here. We mentioned in our last episode that we were going to try and do another one here. Jack had the genius idea of doing a one-season wonder draft because we were talking about a lot of teams that we liked from our childhood that weren't Boston-oriented, and then he just started listing running backs that were good for 1 to 2 years. We were like, why not make that into a draft concept? So today we have guys who have been, they either had 1 or 2 really good seasons and then they kind of faded off into obscurity here. Jack, I'm going to let you have first pick.
Yeah, so these are our best one-season wonders. First overall pick seems like an obvious one. I'm taking Linsanity.
Yeah. He just retired too. I had that on my list as well.
Formally retired.
Correct. Well, yeah, he's been out of the league for a little while now, but that was the obvious number one, I think. 12 game peak.
Yeah, I mean, it's less than 1 season. He got a multi-million-dollar contract out of that.
Right.
He was part of a big 3 because of that 12 game.
Which is pretty awesome, to be honest with you. I'm also going to go to the NBA. I'm going to go to Ben Simmons with my first overall pick here. He may retire.
I wouldn't have counted him.
He was only good for 2 or 3 years. He may retire. He may not get a contract. He's been let go by his agency. He will not sign for a vet minimum, which is what he can go for in the NBA right now. And it seems like he's not going to find a team by the start of training camp.
I'm going to take a chance here with my third one. I'm going to go to my first running back of the day. I'm going to say Peyton Hillis. Great first season. Was on a Madden
cover. Yep.
And then literally never did anything again. He had 1,300 rushing yards 1 year and then never did anything again. I'm taking Peyton Hillis.
All right, I'll go running back with you. I'm going to take Todd Gurley here.
Yeah, a guy on my list.
Yeah, a guy who probably was on both of our lists going into this whole thing. Had maybe 1 or 2 good years with the LA Rams, hurt himself in the Super Bowl, never really was the same player after that. And then at the age of 28 or 29, I think, he retired from football. You know what I mean? So unfortunate that he didn't get paid the amount that he was probably owed. Running back position is a really fickle thing. But a guy that, from your childhood, you think of that Super Bowl 50 ad that he was in and some other stuff like that. That's pretty cool to think back on. But yeah, a guy that kind of faded off after a year or two of being really dominant.
Yeah, I don't think that my guys are necessarily as skilled as one-hit wonders. I think it's more so these guys were really just okay for a year or two. That's a good pick. He was definitely on my list.
Yep.
My next pick is Tim Tebow.
Okay.
That Broncos team to a playoff game.
Yes,
and then
I like that pick a lot.
Never played again.
I like that pick a lot.
Tim Tebow in the NFL, to be clear, I would not count as college. Tim Tebow in the NFL.
Right. No, that's a fantastic pick. I think that, yeah, I really like it. It reminds me of a Brock Osweiler type of guy. I hope that guy wasn't on your list. I didn't have him either.
No.
the guy that I'm going to take next, I'm going to go back to the NBA here. I'm going to take D'Angelo Russell, a guy who really saw his peak with the Brooklyn Nets and then made an all-star game and has kind of never really been the same player ever again.
Yeah, but he's been in the league for 10 years.
Yeah, but he's been fine for 10 years. He's been trade bait for 10 years.
True. Yeah, no, I don't hate that pick. We definitely went in completely different directions. I'll let you make my next pick. Should I go football, basketball, or baseball?
You should go baseball for the fun of it.
All right, my baseball pick is going to be a Red Sox homer. I have Rick Porcello, won 22 games in 2017 and won the Cy Young Award, and then never did anything.
That's a fantastic pick. I forgot all about Rick Porcello. I'm glad that you brought him back up to me. Yeah, man, I don't think you're going to like any of my last picks. We've made 3 so far. So I'm going to go with one football player and with one basketball player. You can also take a pick as to who I should go with here.
You're going to make them both. So I guess basketball?
Basketball first. We will go with Tyreek Evans. One rookie of the year.
That was my basketball guy. Now my last pick's clear.
One rookie of the year. His first year in the NBA, never was the same player again, was out of the league within 5 or 6 years after that. Unfortunate, but it wasn't even really that injuries did it to him. He just kind of never really found that spark again that he had as a rookie. So obvious one-hit wonder, Tyreek Evans.
Yeah, that was my NBA pick. I was definitely going to take that one next. But with my last pick, I'm going to stay true to my roots here. Started this off with NFL running backs. We're going to end it with an NFL running back too. I have the muscle hamster, Doug Martin, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow. Okay. I like that pick. And I will wrap this thing up.
NFL pick.
I will wrap this thing up with another NFL running back. I will take Jamal Charles.
Yeah, Jamal Charles was good, but he tore his ACL twice.
Correct.
He had 4 really good seasons, but they were sporadic. He had a couple of year breaks in between. So that's a good pick. I like that a lot.
I have a few honorable mentions. I don't know if you have any.
I actually don't have any, but I could probably spitball some.
Yeah. So my first one, a guy that made 1 Pro Bowl, made $75 million from the Redskins, has been in the league for a really long time, and I think people think he was better than he actually was. Josh Norman was on my list.
Oh, what a good player.
But not for that long, though. That's the thing. He wasn't incredible. And in the same token,
he was when he was a really good cornerback. He was definitely one of the best in the league. People remember him for fighting OBJ and for getting thrown out of the football field by Derrick Henry.
Correct. Both of those things. I also have OBJ on my list. I wasn't going to draft him, but he's another guy that I feel like once he left the New York Giants, he was never really the same player, and he was hurt for most of the time that he was there.
True, but he was on his way to winning Super Bowl MVP with the Reds.
Correct.
Before he got hurt.
It's true.
It's true. I had Chris Davis
had him too. Yeah. He was my last one.
For the A's?
Baltimore Orioles.
Oh, I had Chris Davis for the A's. He had 47 home runs and then never did anything ever again.
Yeah, I had Chris Davis on the Baltimore Orioles. He was 3rd in MVP voting, I think, with the A's that year, and then he signed a massive contract with the Orioles, and then he...
No, we're talking about different Chris Davis.
Different Chris Davis
is KHRIS. Chris Davis for the A's hit 47 home runs and was going band for band with Aaron Judge for the home run race in 2019.
Okay.
Your Chris Davis was on the Orioles, hit 50 bombs, 3rd in MVP voting, and then started the next season off without a hit in 22 games.
Correct. He was 0 for 54 from the plate.
Crazy.
Yeah. Another one from baseball, Christian Yelich, NL MVP.
I can't let that one fly. Christian Yelich is still, when he's healthy, he's one of the best players in baseball.
All right, fine.
Can't let that one fly.
Fine.
Chris Davis on the Orioles broke his bat and hit a home run one time.
What about Cody Bellinger? Maybe.
Johnny Cueto?
Fair. Now we're just spitballing.
We could spitball all day. I mean, there's 30,000 running backs. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
Yeah. Icky Woods.
Get your
cold cuts.
All right, we're going to wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week to wrap up week 1 of the NFL. But until then, this has been the Corner Office, and I'm Jack Byrne.
I'm Alex Penders.
I'm going to Dirk on. Hold on.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool.
Foot up and everything.